There is another interesting controversy that took hold online this weekend surrounding the England-Mexico game.
So leading up to the match, England staff shut down rumors that the team was using Viagra to help combat altitude sickness. It may sound silly, but doctors say using the little blue pill is not completely unheard of. So we sent 9 News reporter Janelle Finch to get some answers.
England was up against a difficult opponent for World Cup round of 16, but Mexico may have had the harder team to beat.
How is the squad taking this particular situation of the altitude and the scenario where you're going to play tomorrow? Thank you.
Well, the Viagra helped.
England's players and coaches took questions on potentially using Viagra to adjust to playing at 7,200 feet. Staff says the team didn't take it. Doctors would argue they didn't need it.
There's no reason to take Viagra in terms of the altitude.
Dr. Peter Hackett has been studying altitude medicine since the 1970s. He says the drug doesn't help sports performance, but science has found benefits for combating severe altitude sickness.
Viagra is a chemical called sildenafil. It's used most commonly for erectile dysfunction. It can be useful in lowering the blood pressure in the lungs, which is different than the blood pressure in the rest of the body.
More open blood vessels means higher oxygen levels.
And that can be useful at high altitude to prevent high altitude pulmonary edema. And there's good science to show that it does prevent high altitude pulmonary edema.
But he says it's mainly beneficial for people with a history of lung conditions. Healthy people looking to vacation, hike, or play sports at higher elevations have other options to help acclimate.
Prescription medication called Diamox, which is very useful for preventing altitude sickness. And most people don't need it if they spend a night in Denver.
Doctors say a headache is a perfectly average effect of mountain sickness, and illness will typically pass quickly.
It's generally mild, self-limited, goes away in a day or two.
World Anti-Doping Association research also says the drug can help with altitude sickness, but they say it is for a minority of individuals who are experiencing lung limitations when at high altitude, so it's not for everybody.
I wouldn't recommend taking something like that, but
no.
There, I mean, with sports, to be fair, I mean, that's one of the things the Broncos consider an advantage. It's a
Absolutely.
mental thing too for you.
Yeah.
What can you do if you're an athlete as opposed to just the average person dealing with altitude?
Yeah, so funny enough, this doctor does get a lot of calls from coaches of visiting teams who are asking, I'm bringing my athletes to elevation, like what should we do before we get there? And he says that you can come a couple days before and try to acclimate as best you can, or some teams will even come as short of a time as possible so then they can maybe get ahead of the altitude sickness. Yeah.
Huh.
Yes. He recommends staying for a week if possible, but again, with professional sports, it's so hard to do.
And there's no silver bullet, blue pill or not. It's like everybody would like to be able to figure out a way around it, but
no, that's why we see him sucking the oxygen.
Which he also says debunked. There's like 5 minutes of oxygen in there. Save your money. What's it like, funny? $5 to $10? Yeah, save it. Spend it somewhere else.
All right. Thank you, Janelle. We learned a lot from a story that we went, what? Okay.
Thanks for sorting out the details.
Anytime.